Hello everybody, welcome to the Obsessive Maker. My name is Sian and today I am going to bring you along on a little sewing project. It has been a while since I uploaded here into the In the Making playlist, and I was about to embark on a little or fairly quick project for something I've been making for a little while now, and I thought perhaps it might be something that some of you out there would be interested in. So I am making some ostomy bag covers, and an ostomy bag is one of these fantastic inventions that people who have stomas have to use for their body to undergo its normal function. If you want to look more into it, you can just have a Google for ostomy bag or stoma and the internet will tell you all about it. I'm not here to educate you on those type of things. All I'm here to do today is to show you how I make some covers for these bags. Now, a cover isn't necessary for these bags. It's purely a comfort thing and a confidence thing. So the bags have to be worn pretty much all the time by anyone who has a stoma, and it can either sit inside the waistband of the person's trousers or skirt, or it hangs out over the top of them, in which case not everyone wants this on show, and so I'm literally making some covers so that the person who wears this feels a bit more comfortable having it kind of hanging out of their trouser waistband. So I have drafted up a pattern. It has gone through quite a few iterations. I'm sure if I'd had a really proper look online, there might be a sewing pattern out there for this, but I wanted to set myself the challenge of creating one anyway. So after several iterations, I have this piece of paper and as you can probably tell, it's actually drafted up on the back of another pattern piece that I didn't need for another sewing project. And really, this is its function here. So the reason there's a hole in the pattern piece is so that this opening is available to be placed against the skin. Okay, so I'm tempted to draft this up and make it available online for anyone that wants one, but for today's purpose and to demonstrate it to you, I've literally got one piece which functions as three pattern pieces. We've got the back side of the stoma bag or ostomy bag cover. This is the top piece, and then I've got the bottom piece, which is this bit for the back. And then the front is going to be this whole piece here, but without the hole. So one pattern piece equals three pattern pieces, if that makes sense. So what you will need for this project is some lightweight staple fabric. You'll also need some thread, a sewing machine, preferably a thread that matches your fabric, but most of the thread's going to be on the inside, or the visible thread stitch is going to be on the back, so it's not a big deal if it's not the same color. You will also need some fold over elastic or some bias binding. Now the fold over elastic and bias binding will be applied in basically the same way, and I will show you how to do that when we get to it. So fairly simple, leftover lightweight, fairly stable fabric, a little bit of bias binding or fold over elastic, and some thread and a sewing machine. Really simple. And honestly, most of these that I have made so far have been from leftover fabric and thread. And I happen to have the bias binding and fold over elastic in my stash from other projects. So really, it's kind of a really good way to minimize waste and also provide some modesty and confidence to those who have to wear an ostomy bag. So the type of fabric needed for an ostomy bag cover is something that is fairly lightweight and also stable. You don't want anything too heavy kind of hanging off this bag and dragging it down, because it just becomes uncomfortable for the wearer. And you also want to have the ability for this little tap here to be popped out, a bit like a fly on a pair of trousers, to be popped out, do your business, and then pop it back into the bag. So we need ease of use and comfortable fabric, so therefore something lightweight and stable like a quilting cotton or like a mid-weight linen would be ideal for this kind of project. I have gone through my fabric scraps bag and I've dug out a few pieces of fabric. They are all linen today. I actually made some Christmas versions of this bag for my loved one, and I made it out of some quilting cotton. I don't have the examples with me here today because I've already gifted them to the person, but I used some Christmas quilting cotton and I have plenty left over. And it really was the perfect fabric to use because it was easy to sew. It kind of has some structure to it, but today we are using some varying linens. So I've got a lightweight linen cotton here. So this would be more stable than the other two that I've got. This is a medium weight linen, and this is a heavyweight linen. This is probably not ideal for this project and I may end up discarding it. But we are going to start with the navy blue because it is the more stable of the three fabrics that I've just shown you. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what I do to make these bag covers up. Okay. Okay, so I have my equipment out. I've got this fabric here. This is a remnant of the linen cotton in navy blue, and I've got it folded in half because why cut out one when you can cut out two, right? I have my pattern piece here. And I'm going to start by finding the grain of the fabric, and I wonder, can I actually fit it on this piece? You know what? I think I can. Yes, I can. I like to be as frugal as possible with fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the smallest piece to start with and then use up the rest as needed. So let's cut this out. So pattern piece number one is the front, and literally I'm going to cut around here and that is it. So I've got my rotary cutter. There we go. So there's the first pattern piece. Okay, so we've got two pieces because I cut it on the fold. So that's pattern piece number one. Right, let's just get rid of the scraps. Put that in the scrap bag. And now we're going to work with pattern piece number 2 and 3. So the first one we're going to do is pattern piece number 2, which is really that one there, but I'm going to have to fold it like this. You fell over. There we go, pattern piece number 2. Which if we were to place them on top of each other, goes like that, okay? And then pattern piece number 3. Pattern piece number 3 is this one. there we have the third pattern piece. So basically in construction, we've got the front, the back base, and then we have the back top like that. So it's really fairly simple. All we need to do now is put the pieces together, finish off the edges of these two pieces so that they form a pocket, and also finish off the circle of this cutout. And the way I like to do that is with some fold over elastic. So we shall move on. Okay, so I have my machine threaded with a like thread. In this case, I've got like a vibrant cobalt blue to go with my navy blue. So the first pattern pieces we need to work with really are the back pieces, because these pieces require finishing before they can be applied to the front piece. So what we'll be looking at finishing is the straight edges of the top back piece, as well as the round hole, the edges of the hole on this piece as well. And then on the lower back piece, I'm just going to get you one piece so you can see here. What we need to finish on this is the straight edge of the lower piece. So that's what we'll work with first. And in my case, I'm going to use some fold over elastic. Alrighty, I just had to dig out my folder over elastic. So the folder over elastic, my folder over elastic has a shiny bit on one side and a soft bit on the other. What I want to do is I want the soft bit to be facing the skin. So I want that on the outside of the piece. So on the right side of the piece. On the wrong side of the pattern piece, I'm going to have the shiny bit because that will be on the inside of the bag. And it won't be rubbing against skin, therefore it doesn't really matter that no one can see it. So the softest bit is meant to be for the bits that rub against the skin. So we will, I probably should have ironed this first, but I think we can operate without it. So I'm going to set my machine to a zigzag stitch, and I'm literally just going to fold over this elastic on the edge and pin it in place initially just until we get it under the sewing machine. There we go. So I hope you can see that. There we go. As I sew this, I want to give it a little bit of a tug, a little bit of a stretch, because I just want some resistance in place so that this part of the pocket opening doesn't sag open over time. But first, let's just give it a little, okay. Take my pin out. Right, now that I've got the first bit established, I've given the elastic a little tug. Go. Stretched it out and give it another little tug. Okay, we got a little bit interrupted because I had a knock on the door, but that's okay. So you'll see that I have applied the fold over elastic. It is not stretchy, but what it's done is it's just kind of pulled in that edge just to give it a bit of tension. So that shiny bit is the inside, and that's going to be the bit facing the skin. So I've gone ahead and have started to apply it to the second piece, and just make sure I've got my zigzag stitch on. Okay, take out the pin, fold that over, and give it a bit of a pull. And a little bit more. There we go. there we have the second bit. Okay, so what we need to do next is we need to apply the fold over elastic to this circle, this round opening. And the way we do that again is we want the plush side of the elastic facing the skin. So in that case, this is the shiny bit, okay? So that's the inside. So that means I can put the shiny bit here. I'm gonna start at the top of the circle, fold that over. I might just need the help of a pin here. There we go. And it's still on a zigzag stitch, which for me is stitch number 3. And the sun is shining right in my face, so I can't really see what I'm doing right now, but that's okay. Okay. We will figure it out as we go. Okay. And again, I'm just giving a little bit of tension as we go around. It's going to look really wonky initially, but we'll get there. Don't worry, I won't sew my finger. I've already hammered my finger today. I was doing some work in the garden, actually building an enclosure, a rat-proof enclosure for my vegetables, because the local bush rat population has just had a feast. Okay. So you see I'm doing this little bit by little bit. I honestly hope you can see more than I can. So I'm just doing this by feel at the moment. I'm going to cut those threads. There we go. Alrighty. There we go, we're getting there. Okay, we're getting there. And this will probably be really messy, but you know what? No one's going to notice. And so we've got to the point where we need to overlap on this bit here. So we're just going to make sure we've got it enclosed. There we go. And we're just going to go over it a teeny bit. Then we're going to go back and back stitch and go forward, back, forward. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to use my lingerie scissors to cut the elastic, because I want to make sure that I'm making a nice neat cut. Okay. All right. So I tell you what, once you give that a little bit of a steam, that will look much nicer, but that is that raw edge enclosed. I have stretched out the elastic slightly, given it a bit of tension all the way around, just to make sure that the hole itself doesn't stretch out. And now we're at the stage where we want to attach the back pieces to the front. So this is a very quick project. It's taking a little longer because I'm stepping you through it step by step. But really, if I'm not talking to a camera, this would be so much quicker. So what we want to do is we're going to join the front pieces to the back pieces, and we need to do that right sides together. So in order to do that, we need to make sure that the bits that are the right sides, which again are the plush elastic, not the shiny elastic, the plush elastic of the right side, so we're going to put that face down on the right side of the front piece. Now, normally I would have some notches, but I completely forgot to add those in this time. So in future, I will add a notch to the top and I'll add notches to the sides as well. But I'm just going to go around and I'm going to match up the edges. Ow, happens all the time. Okay. All right. There we have it. Maybe one more pin. One more pin. Just because I don't want to mess this up on camera. Ow, I keep pinning myself. Okay, so we're going to change our stitch on the machine to a straight stitch. Okay, so in my case that's stitch number 0000, and it's just a normal stitch length, the average stitch length that comes with the machine. I'm actually going to stitch it face down just so that the overlapping pieces are underneath and they're kept secure by pushing down. Okay, get my threads through there. I'm going to start at one overlap and I'm going to end at the same overlap, and I'm going to give this a 1 centimeter C. Actually, no, I'm not going to give it a 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is a 1 centimeter, I believe. No, I think it's like 1/2 centimeter. It's like a 6 mil seam allowance. So just back stitch and then we work our way around. Okay, we're coming to the other overlap. Let's just make sure it's all is well. And maybe we'll just do a back stitch over both of these. Just for security. Coming back to the overlap. Great, all done. So there we go. So I'm just going to trim off the excess of the elastic, I should say. Okay, what I'll do is I could either overlock these edges or I could use pinking shears. In this case, I think I'll use the pinking shears. So I'll just get them out of my drawer. I put my overlocker away because There's limited space in this little studio office slash bedroom. So these are the pinking shears. They are very old and haven't been cleaned or sharpened. Honestly, I don't know how you would sharpen some pinking shears. But what I'm going to do is, just to stop the edges from fraying, I'm just going to pink around the edges. There we go. I will have to whip out the iron after this, once we turn it the right way out. Okay, we're just going over the elastic there. Bit of a mess. There we have it. So I have pinked all the way around. Just clean up my mess as I go. I have a bin right here. And the next step is to turn it the right side out and give it a bit of a press. So we can do that this way. Kind of looks like a weird shoe cover right now, but once we've got this pressed, ironed, it will look fantastic, and I will show you what that looks like in just a second. So it's starting to take form. That's what it looks like from the back. Oh, you see I've messed up already. You know what, you live and learn. Okay, see what I did there? There's the shiny bit of elastic. I got that all mixed up, but you know what? That's going to be tucked up under there. It'll be okay. We learn from our mistakes, don't we? But you know what I mean. So this is, I've got this gap here, and there we go. I'm just going to go iron this, and I'll show you what the end result looks like. And I am back. Okay, so I have finger pressed the bag that we've just sewn together, and I've popped the ostomy bag inside it so you can see what it looks like. So this is the side that's visible to everyone else. This is the side that is against your skin or against your body. And this hole here is for the opening of the bag, and the pocket that we created gives easy access to the bottom of the bag, which could be a tap, it could be a tube inlet or outlet, whatever bag you have. And it's easily just tucked back in with your two hands when you're done, or you can do it one-handed if you're skilled enough. I'm clearly not practiced enough. But that was really quick and easy to make, wasn't it? So if I hadn't have been filming the process, I think once I cut it out, it would have taken me maybe 15 minutes to put together. And that's probably because I'm a bit more practiced at this now. I've made quite a few, I'd say over 10. I've made over 10 while refining this pattern for my loved ones' bags. So yeah, it gets easier every time, and it's an excellent way to make your loved one feel a little bit more comfortable using their ostomy bag. And it's also an excellent use for any spare fabrics you have laying around. Honestly, I think having the bag can either make the person having to use them a little bit more comfortable or more confident, depending on what they're looking for. Today I've gone for a really simple plain one because that's what was requested of me, but you might have friends or family that need to use these bags, and they might want to celebrate their themselves and use something bold and bright, like a wax print or a batik or something really fun and glittery or whatever. It really depends on the wearer. So if you have someone in your life who needs to use these ostomy bags, maybe reach out to them, ask them if they've considered covers, and if you would like to make one for them, maybe make that offer. If you would like access to my pattern, As I said, it's very, very simple. You could probably draft one yourself if you wanted to, but I am thinking of turning this into a PDF. I haven't quite figured out how to do that. Perhaps it's just the use of a scanner. We will see. But if you are interested in this and you would like access to it, please contact me. Maybe send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is @theobsessivemaker. Or I was going to say send me an email, but I don't think I've made my email public. Send me a DM over on Instagram and I will respond to you and hopefully be able to share this with you. But I hope you found this video informative and helpful. And if you like what I've created today and you also like my other videos, if you haven't seen them, go check them out. There's a whole podcast series about knitting and sewing, okay? But do like and subscribe. And if you would like to be notified of any of my other upcoming videos, hit the notification button as well. I really appreciate you watching today and I hope you've enjoyed watching as much as I've enjoyed making this. I'm gonna go make a few more and hopefully I'll see you again on my other videos soon. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.